MAUL or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MAUL or Nothing with Ryan and Max, and we are delighted to be joined by, somewhat surprisingly in some respects perhaps, it is Ben Earl. He's here!
I did it. You did it, Max. I did it.
He's real. He's real. It's no doppelganger.
It's fucking real.
Told you.
Congrats, Max.
Cheers, fellas.
Look at
so
them
happy.
back together. You didn't live together though, did you?
Nah, but we just had a weird thing going on. It was fun. We did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to take him under my wing. You know, back then he was very young and naive, slightly cynical. But now he's blossomed into an England vet. No, what are you? 26.
26 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
so sneaky.
How many caps for England?
Young.
25.
Oof, already.
I know, it's
25
done
times
already.
25.
You don't do the maths, for fuck's sake. And I think it's 23 now, isn't it? But anyway, he just wants to work out how much money you've earned, and then would like to know how you spent it, Ben.
Just a quick one. Obviously in the Pure Sport office, how good in the glass box? Ambassadors of Pure
Yeah.
Sport. How good does Mark look in a Pure Sport clobber?
I haven't seen a zip-up hoodie since the Gap, I think.
I mean, that's it.
Bonkers.
It's that or the oversized tee under.
It's very 90s.
Yeah, but oversized is in.
It just shows that anyone can wear it. He did ask. He did ask for a quarter zip, but they've only got some cool clobber. But how good! Thank you very much to Pure Sport for hosting us. We like it. We like
We
it.
like it a lot.
It is fabulous to have Ben with us. Again, we've spoken to you before, but actually in person. And without a doubt, England's player of the tournament at the World Cup. Would we agree, Ben?
A lot of good players. There were a lot of good players. The team were the best player there. It was, to be fair, what was, talking about that campaign, what was great was that, like, everyone in that campaign had their little moment, didn't they? So, like, Courtney Lawes was incredible, that whole campaign. Joe Marler, you know, for 70 minutes in that semi-final was unbelievable. Henry Arundel scored about 1,000 tries in 55 minutes, whatever. Like, everyone had their little bit of like magic, and I think that's what, you know, come the end, coming away with at least something to show for it in the medal, in the bronze medal was pleasing, I think.
From a personal point of view, I mean, we did speak to you last time when you were, and I don't want you to dredge up horrific moments, but, you know, in the international wilderness at the time, you'd given us your experience of being the Eddie Jones camp. And then, you know, was it sweet as fuck that you were then England's best player by a country mile? You were named in team of the tournament, so you absolutely were. And then you were such an intricate, intrinsic part of England's success, as you said, picking up a medal as well, and having been out of the game for quite a while, out of the international game for a while.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously that was an amazing kind of full circle moment for sure. There was quite a lot that happened in between, probably the last time we've talked, and now, like, obviously coming back in with Steve, then still not really getting much of a game for reasons that were my own, not anything to do with the way that he was seeing things. And then, yeah, kind of winning the Premiership, having an awesome pre-season with England, and then kind of kicking on from there with a few bumps in the road as a group. And yeah, just it kind of, obviously I've been injured the last couple of months while I've just come back, but to have that time to actually decompress and think about it, I mean, we know as players that season can be like a cyclone. You just feel like you're stuck in it, and then to actually have that time to reflect was so valuable, and yeah, it makes you appreciate it a whole lot more.
We won't get stuck on the World Cup because it's gone. But it was some spectacle out in Marseille. I was down there in Marseille. I was actually at Fiji England game.
Oh right, yeah.
With Nico Massawalu. It was incredible. Like the whole everything around the World Cup was brilliant, wasn't it?
I think it's like the World Cup that was exactly how I thought it would be, how it should be, and like France did it so well in terms of getting to see a little bit of every bit of France, and they are rugby mad out there. Where we were staying in Le Touquet was just crazy. Like, don't think we ever paid for a coffee. I think it was just, everything was just free. It was just bonkers. Golf free, coffee free, paddy free. I mean, boys were like loving it. And so yeah, no, we had a great time, and yeah, I'll definitely be going back at some point for sure.
So England got like scrutinised quite a lot by the media for playing a boring brand of rugby, attritional, the Steve Borthwick way. Were you boys aware of that, and what was sort of the reaction in general?
I think we were definitely aware of that was how we were going to play, and that's how we were going to be successful. I mean, it's actually amazing the amount of data like Steve and his coaching team have access to and rely upon. there was a running joke by the end of the tournament. Steve had, I think he works with a company that uses rugby data and like a lot of non-tangibles and predicts win success and like win likelihood. And there were some crazy stats, and he used to call it the supercomputer. And actually, like some of the stats around, like the amount of times we need to kick, the amount of times, like the amount of tackles certain positions need to make, etc., etc. And it, like, to be fair to, you know, until the semi-final, it was all basically coming true. So yeah, it was a different way of like thinking about the game, but at the end of the day, it actually made our role simpler as players. We were like, right, well, if we can rely upon that, then kind of, you know, all bets are off. Hopefully we come on the right side of the result. And for example, I'm trying to think of a game. I think it was something like, we've played Argentina that first game. I think we'd played it 100 times. We'd have won like 95 times, which is like crazy, even with the red card, which is like amazing in terms of like the stats around that and what that would have looked like.
Because a lot of these people do all the bet predictions as well, don't they?
I think it might even be the same company. I don't really know, but with like Steve would like, it was like a review preview on the Sunday night and at the beginning of the game week again, and he would give like a few like stats that he consistently relied upon throughout the whole campaign, and that was the stat, and like that was the stuff that Steve was like always really you know, really pleased about and was very encouraging. And that was when I think, you know, let's be honest, the warm-ups probably weren't exactly what we wanted, but that was a bit we were like, right, this is working, and, you know, hopefully that paid dividends, you know, going forward.
At what point can I start betting on rugby? How long do you have to be?
That's what you took from that.
Yeah, that's what I took from that.
Amazing. Absolutely.
I reckon you've done, bro, because you're still a pundit and you're in the media.
So I'm not allowed to do it.
No, you're not allowed.
Do you remember those?
Yeah, the keep rugby clean things. What was it? There was a keep rugby clean. Was that part of the gamble?
Yeah, but it was the gamble awareness or something.
Gamble awareness. Yeah.
With the video of like people being addicted to gambling.
Just loads of Welsh players. Was it all the Welsh got done? Who was it? The Welsh coach, wasn't it? Yeah. What was his name?
No, Rob Howley.
Rob Howley.
We had a different thing to that. We had like...
No, you'd have like... Yeah, we'd have
like a video, and it would be like someone who like betted the house away, like, and their mum would come, their family came back and the house was gone, and like boys would walk out and be like, well, that's the last time I'm putting a fiver on red after the night out. It had the required effect. That lasted about an hour, and then boys were off to Ladbrokes on training. But like, yeah, I think it's stuff like that, isn't it?
Hold on. I want to just go back a little bit to when these boys met. When are we going to get on to that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I felt like it was a good moment for Ben at the World Cup. Just being like,
I know
this is fucking brilliant, because the guy who's just gone out on the group stage didn't rate me, and then you were literally player of the season in 2022, and yet you were still kind of not quite starting. Well, you weren't starting for England, you were coming on sub, and then suddenly you just bossed the entire World Cup.
Couple coaches that you were a bit like, where they, and Eddie Jones was one of them. What was it like, honestly? And what did you think of him now going to Japan?
That saga, I mean, it's just been a bit bonkers, isn't it? Like,
mental.
I don't really know. There's another way to say it. I mean,
I think bonkers is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, he's going to be brilliant for Japanese rugby. Like, he'll really get them performing in a way that they maybe haven't before, probably since that South Africa game in that World Cup, 2015. And they always feel like they're on the edge of like playing really, really well. But I think Eddie will just push that envelope just a bit further. And the way he'll like probably get involved with the club system as well. Like I think his wife may be Japanese, so he's very much involved and invested in the game.
He's half Japanese, so he speaks Japanese.
So he's like, I think it'd be great for him, great for the Japanese game. But it's a shame that it didn't work out for Australia. I actually think they've got a really good, exciting squad coming through, and whoever takes that on, I think will do very well. You
also feel for those players that fucking last World Cups and boys got left out. Like we've spoken about, haven't we? So I suppose don't go over old ground, but fucking mental, absolutely mental. Can we go into these?
Yeah, okay.
Just and then we'll go back to England stuff. Talk to me about Mats, because we've had Randall on recently.
You had Rands.
Oh, yeah, we had Rands, yeah. They're very tight Rands.
Rands opened up, a good boy.
He's a good guy.
He didn't
rat.
tell us anything. We weren't that surprised about Max, but
Did he tell you anything about his Rands himself? Did he did you get into his stuff?
he told us that his nickname was Peace.
Yeah,
because he had a massive.
What about? Did you ever talk to you about what his dad does at the weekends?
No.
No, I think it's amazing, and so like every now and again, like we were very close with Harry, and there wasn't very much to do in Bristol because we were during lockdown, and we were like, "Oh, Rand's, what you up to this weekend?" He says, "Oh, sorry, boys, I'm in some like part of the world in the UK of like Timbuktu, like never heard of it." And I'm like, "What are you doing there?" He's like, "Oh, my dad rides horse and cart, which is like you ever seen that scene in Gladiator? You know when like they have like the two people at the chariots and they're like racing around. It's like that. But they've got these
Amish.
No, they've got these whips, and his dad competes. They race, and that you can only bet on it in Star Sports. Talk about gambling. So if you've ever been to a Star Sports, it's pretty interesting viewing to go in there. So if you ever get a chance, bet on him. Every now and again, we'd bet on his dad. It was.
We're looking for a betting sponsor. Betting sponsor, Star Sports.
Hit us up.
But yeah, sorry, going back to...
He raced a little. I know exactly what you mean.
Big in Australia.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not joking. That's a traveller thing.
I don't know the background of it, but I remember I've seen like every now and again we'd be at Rands or something, and he'd be racing. We'd watch it. It's genius. So meeting Max for the first time. Well, it was weird. So Max. My first day at Bristol and me and Max Malin's first day at Bristol, we were at Clifton Rugby Club still. It was one of the last days we had at Clifton, and turned up on.
I did not think you'd seen
this
that.
Is gonna be, old school. This could be a long year. This gym is about as big as this room. And then we were gymming in like positional stuff. So it was the back five first, and then Max came. And obviously I'd been around the game a little bit, but like I'd seen Max and I had this idea of what he would be like, right? Like, let's be honest, Max is in crazy Nick, what looks after himself, played for a long time. I thought knowing props as I do, I'm basing them off the Mako Vinopolas of the world, guys pretty serious at what they're doing. And Max turned up, and I think he might have even said, "Good morning to you, sir," or something like that. I remember looking around being like, is he taking the piss out of me? Or is he,
I had a few of these first impressions.
That was only the beginning.
Oh man, it was so fun.
And then there's a few other good bits. I'm trying to think which one to go with first. So I remember like Bristol and Pat, we had this massive thing like during that COVID year or that COVID restart. Like a lot of the games were like now and again just being called off because there was like a massive bout of cases or whatever. So Pat's thing was like, guys, if we can like not have a game called off, there's a really good chance we'll do really well. And he was right. We had a good squad and whatever. Anyway, so we changed training quite a bit and whatever. And if you'd come in the morning, get your test done. I think we used to come in on Mondays with Greg's. We never used to train Mondays. We should come in, get tested on a Monday and then go home. And that was it. That was honestly, it was like unbelievable. Amazing. So anyway, we've all come in, tested, gone home. Mine's in the clear. Max Malin's in the clear. Harry Round's clear. Max, everyone's like, guys, Max the Heath's came up positive, won't be in for 2 weeks. Everyone's like, God, 2 weeks, Max can't even, like, Max obviously got his home gym, so he's got his jean shorts on and cleaning 1,000 kilograms, whatever. Anyway, we're like 2 days back. I think we've actually had like a bit of a crisis with our loose heads. I think we've lost like all our loose heads. Everyone's like, don't worry, Max coming back 2 days' time. Come back on Monday morning. Come back on Monday morning. We've got a meeting and Pat stands up, pretty stern, and like he's pretty stern anyway, but like he's very stern. Said, boys, just want to say, like, if you ever are like in isolation, please do not go out on a 5-mile run in jean shorts. Anyway, everyone's like, what? Turns out Max, so me and Max have not really met him yet. Max is like gone for this run across the Bristol Downs in jean shorts because he's one of the lads has seen him and he's tore both his cuffs. Out for basically the remainder of the season, basically. And like, I just remember being like, what an idiot. Like,
yeah, that was bad. I was like, I just assumed like, as a pro athlete, I could run with like normal, like, you see people just road run. You're like, I could do that. So I was like, I'm going to keep myself fit in this.
What's crazy though is before then, there was no reason to have ever gone
to run for that long. You never do that in rugby. Anyway, no, I've gone for a run.
Obviously, you don't go for a run.
Honestly, it's crazy. But like, I just remember being like, what an idiot! Like,
Oh,
no
yes.
one's been festering at home more than this bloke to see like the insides of this swish gym that we've now got.
Talk to us about the run.
So the run was like I was doing like intermittent like Ks. So I do a K, do a bit of rope, K, do a bit of rope, like ran for ages, mate. Then I was like feeling these weird cramps in my calf. I was like, I don't feel so good, so I stopped. Got back in the car. I was like, but in the morning after I'd slept, it was still really bad. I was like, oh no. So I phoned in to Rory Murray at the time, who's now head of physiotherapy at Bath, and he was like, what have you done? I was like, yeah, I went for a run. How far? In what footwear? I was like, I was on the road, just in like trainers. He's like, oh my God, I need to get you a scan. Sees them. He's like, nah, they're dust. You've torn your calf.
Blew both his calves.
Yeah. So then I go and see. Then Pat gets me in. And he's like, I need to see you.
Oh no,
Bro, it was bad. I was sitting there.
I'm surprised you still play for Bristol after that. I am, because I thought like we may never see Max again.
Yeah.
Like,
and then
I'm really downplaying how stern he was about I mean, there was a lot of effing and blind. Like,
Kev was there.
Fucking go on a run, like all this, and everyone was like, well, I wasn't planning to, and I don't.
Yeah.
What kind of idiot does? Oh, did Max do that? Did he?
So Kev Geary was there to mediate it, and he's like, "It's okay, you'll be all right." I was like, "I don't think so." But anyway, then this guy in our Christmas social, we had these skits to do where we sort of had to do like a show. He had. Oh, good.
I forgot that. Bro, I actually
One of
might
the
see if I can
funniest
get hold of
things.
that. Jeez.
Bro,
Yeah,
so we all had
us.
skits. And we basically all did impressions of the coaching staff. We were in like little mini teams. Anyway, Ben's mini team. Ben just gets that video of what's the movie?
You know I don't know what movie it is, but you ever seen that scene where they tell Hitler about the thing, and he takes his glasses off like this, and we replace the subtitles, and it's like we actually did that exact scene. It was Kev Geary's face like had come to Pat, and we actually had Pat's face on. Which obviously isn't like really on, but like it was funny. And there's like this bit, and he's like, he went for how far on this front?
Yeah, and he was writing the subtitle.
And like, honestly, we were playing it, and I'm like, obviously I was leaving, like, I wasn't actually staying, so I didn't really care. But like a lot of the boys were like, Ben, if this guy's bad, this is on you. And I was like, yeah, no worries, like sweet. Anyway, I'm like watching like behind this chair, like looking every now and then at Pat, and like watching the boys are wetting themselves, looking at Pat, and like Pat's face is like. Anyway, and then afterwards he was like, that was genius. But then at the time I was like, oh my God.
The boys were in hysterics. Like with that when he goes rants in his German, in that like hard German tongue.
Exactly.
And he sets people out of the room.
And then they've got like, oh yeah. And they've got there's one bit in that scene where like there's like a bunch of ladies out the back and they're like crying, and it's one of them's like Max face. And it's like
It was so good.
It was genius. I might have to see if I can get hold of it. I think because we actually got what was even better is we actually got the head analyst to do it for us, because obviously like quite a bit of tech, and he was like, "You guys, I hope you know what you're doing. Like this could go awful."
Boys, I'm telling you now, there's head analysis all over rugby clubs, right? That could get 90% of the players sacked, because some of the videos we've done with Glasgow in the past, you're like, if that got out there,
oh mate,
we would lose our jobs.
Like
and so there's, I reckon there's a couple head analysis that aren't in there anymore that have got them in the bank, and they're just waiting for that moment to be like, by the way, I need this. I've got a gambling addiction. Can you send me some money?
We're going to keep doubling down.
Doubling down. Love it.
What's the worst one you've heard of, though, where it's just really killed? Like, as in it's had...
the opposite.
Like a negative impact on a player's career because he's taken down the squad.
But on that, you just say Pat gamed you ass and said that's genius, but you saw his face during it angry.
I don't think he can react. You can't do that, because like if you can't even enjoy yourself, then like what's the point?
He saw how everyone reacted and was like, I have to.
And at the time we were winning. I mean, maybe when they were going through a bad run, I don't know what would have happened then, but we were top of the league, so we can't even get away with it.
My first impression of this guy, though, who did we play? We played we lost basically early on in the season to someone, and we were doing the review, and Ben's only been in like a month or so. We were going all right, but we just lost. We're there.
I'll add some context. This is actually the Premiership semi-final.
Was this the semi?
And the context is we had the Challenge Cup. We had the Challenge Cup final.
You tell it.
The Challenge Cup final on afterwards, and basically
this was so good.
Wasps had outplayed us.
Oh, hold on. I think Rand's mentioned this.
Wasps had outplayed us. Like, we'd been fully Willised, brothered. Like, Jack Willis was on fire. Like, any breakdown he was in, it was turnover. Yeah. It was that time when like the Premiership were like going really hard at protecting Jack Willis. So if the Jack Willis could even like touch it, it was a turnover. Anyway, we got beat, and like we were like Bristol at the time. We were playing really well, but the reason why we were playing well because we were running from deep, and like the only team you couldn't do that against was Wasps, because if they tackled you and Willis was around, it was a turnover. Yeah. Anyway, so we've had the review, and like obviously we've lost the game, and you know, Pat goes through like obviously the normal bits, and that's great. Actually, the circumstances, we were sitting in, I don't know if you ever, we're sitting in the barn, in the indoor bit. He's got this massive screen because we obviously we're social distancing because we weren't going to get any COVID. Well, no, like he's screaming down. Anyway, like boys are like lounging back on their thing. And one of the things is like, one thing that really winds him up, and the meetings, like, let's be honest, the meetings are way too long. Meetings are like, you're talking 4 or 5 hours a day at times.
I didn't say that, you said that.
Max is like...
No, they're really good.
Some of the younger lads, obviously, like, didn't play, maybe been out the weekend, like, it's quite warm in that barn, right? And they're like leaning back on these tackle shields. And I think like boys honestly were like dozing off anyway. And a big thing I remember, like, do not fall asleep. If you don't like meetings, leave this club, all this. And I was like, oh my God. So anyway, like I was at the back with a few like troublemakers. I should never have been in that group. Anyway, we'd all before that, after that game, before that meeting, we're like, guys, we need to like get hold of this. Like if we're actually going to have a chance of winning next week in the final, in the Challenge Cup final against Toulon, that was a great Toulon team. And we were like, Ben, you should say something. I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I would think I will.
No.
Anyway.
Oh, no.
Anyway, then, like, meeting ends. He goes, anything, like, your token, like, anyone got anything? I was like, yeah, pal, I've got so much, yeah.
This is it, your moment.
This
I'm
is,
gonna do this.
well, no, I was like, the boys, if the boys honestly think this, and I didn't throw anyone's name under the bus, and I actually should have done, because I think, I don't know if that would have helped, but I didn't. So I said, Pat, I've been thinking over the weekend, like, there are times, and obviously we've had real load of success running, but at times we do just need to take a medicine and kick it long. And like, and I probably said like too much. Probably I can't even remember the actual ins out. But that was
you feel like you've got it right here, and then but then you go on a little bit.
I don't know if like I've said too much. Anyway, again, it was a bit like that. Like it went silent, and everyone just went like, as he just said that, like has he like undermined everything we've been doing for Bristol since like he's arrived, whatever. And he goes, anyone thinking of that? No one speaks up. I'm like, boys, you've left me out to dry here.
It's like Homer Simpson.
It was. Anyway, no, I don't even think it gets addressed anyway. Like,
and that's where you feel yourself burning up.
No, what he said was, this is what he said. He goes, anyone want to answer that? Boys are like, I think it was Joyce. He was like, system solution. He goes, system solution.
Yeah, that's right.
Pointing at Ben Earl.
Yeah. So I'm like, right, okay. I'm like, what? I'm literally like, at the same time, I cared a lot because I cared about the boys. But I was like, I wasn't afraid. Like, I was just like, I want to win. I'm here to win. Like, yeah. I'm trying to help the team win, whatever. Anyway, and I kind of nothing happens. We'll walk back. I think we had Jim. The boys like, shouldn't have said that, mate. And I was like, well, you could have said that when you were talking about
like Andy Uren's like, you're so stupid.
Yeah, you're so stupid.
You'll get that from Andy.
Yeah, I'm no good myself. Andy, please. I'm already feeling like a bit of a muppet. Anyway, I'm actually mid-set in the gym. Pat comes down. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just going to try and like dissolve into the wall here.
Yeah.
Pat grabs me and goes, we have a chat. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, he takes me all the way up to his office, which is like, it's a good couple of minutes walk. Anyway, he got these stairs and like overlooking the gym is like this hallway where his office is. And like, I like look down into the gym and all the boys like praying for me. And anyway, I'm like, I think we go in there and yeah. I don't think we really had it out. Like he was kind of just like, you know, Ben, like it's not that helpful, you know, trying to play a certain way. I said, yeah, I apologize. I just thought that's like, we're trying to win. I think that's the best way of winning. He goes, well, basically you're not going to play next week. You're not going to play in the Challenge Cup final. I was like, oh my, really? Like, genuine? He's like, yeah, well, you know, Nathan's been here, Nathan Hughes and Dan Thomas has been here since the beginning, so I don't think you'll be playing this next week. And I was like, I was like devastated. I know. Anyway, so I'm like, no, and he was like, he didn't never said it was about that. But you could tell maybe if I kept my mouth shut, I don't know what would happen. Anyway, Nathan Hughes. So the game's in Provence, and Nathan Hughes' visa is not. He can't get his visa.
Of course.
So I end up starting the game and getting man of the match. Anyway, at the end of the game, I've actually got a bit of spite about me. I should never have anyway, then someone goes in the pro match interview, he's like, oh, so how goes Pat being? He's like, it's been brilliant for me, I can't thank him enough. And I was literally thinking to myself, I could have actually could have gone. But to be fair, I think we both saw the game in a different way. I'd obviously been the club had been successful at Saracens playing in a very different way and whatever. But yeah, I thought it was quite a funny story of what the full circle and it's I was thinking to myself, I was the coach, it was a weird one. I'm getting up for a final, but all I cared about was just playing well. So
it is a funny old way. I remember playing, there'd be times in your career you'd be like, how am I ever going to get out of this? And then something would always happen and you'd be like, that's it, back in. Like you at the weekend, coming in when you weren't meant to be playing and suddenly you're in next minute. That you ever skite gambled? 24th man, gone away, 24th man,
no.
Beers the night before.
I used to when I was younger. I didn't really do it anymore. It was only when I did Europe though. So
there's a great story in Sarries, and he won't mind me saying this, but we were playing Toulon at home, and Nick Tompkins was I think he might have generally had 400 caps as 24th man. He's watched a lot of rugby and not played. So this is the one weekend of a record. This is the one weekend where his mates are in town or whatever. Anyway, we're playing Toulon, and this is the Toulon team with Tuisova, Redrada, Bastero, the greats of the game. They think they were the year before they'd won it. So Nonu, yeah. Anyway, Tompkins gone out and he'd be the first to admit he's not a great drinker. And he certainly holds on to it the day after in terms of how cheap he is. So he turns up the next day. Everyone's like, "Oh, Tompkins looks a bit rough," but it's a good job he's not playing. One of the boys goes down the warm up, so he's then on the bench and he's like, "Okay, it's still not great. I'm not feeling amazing, but there's no way I'm getting on now because if you're coming in as 24th and subbed into the bench, you're almost certainly not going to get on." Anyway, the centre goes down. I think Brad goes down the first minute. He ends up playing 79 minutes, getting man of the match. Boys are like, the fear.
Right, and we used to call it was the Saracens way. Go on the piss. Remember we used to go on those stupid trips on the piss midweek and then
that was kind of the agreement was that if we go on this and we'll do it properly, geez, boy, you've got to win the weekend. And no game was bigger than that game. It was
see, this is what I mean though. Remember I said a few wherever this goes out that I wasn't drinking, right? But and I said I listened to a podcast stupidly, and it was how bad sleep, drinking is for your sleep and recovery. And I was like, I should have been more professional. I should have drunk less. Should have taken it more seriously, and maybe I would have been better. But then I was like, no, fuck that. Because you don't create those memories, and that's what it was all about. So you create memories and go on the beers with each other. And I can't remember half the time I've been out the beers, but
it's always a snapshot, isn't it? Remember we had a couple of days in St Anton. Don't know if you've ever been. It's known as being probably the best après.
Maitland's told me about.
Yeah, so it's there's 3 spots. There's Crazy Kangaroo, Moosefurt, and then there's a place called I think it's Ronnie's down in town. So it's kind of you do the Holy Trinity. I think they might have even called it. Anyway, we're obviously none of us are skiing, so we turn up to do the first place. Crazy Kangaroo. It's flipping high up in the mountains. We're all in casual gears, jeans. Some boys are smart enough to wear Timberlands. I'm in a pair of Adidas Simbas. I'm this is a disaster. Anyway,
just for context, where is this in the season? This is before...
This is prime. Oh, sorry, in the season. This is no. This is
around now, wouldn't it be?
This is about now. Yeah,
mid-season, and you've got a game coming up. Because I remember you played Glasgow once, and then we were like, "Oh, you boys not staying the night?" Yeah, no, we've got to get back because we're going on the piss. And you had another game.
Tell you what, might have even been after that game. I distinctly remember it. Might have been.
And we were like, "Fuck."
Anyway, so we were in there from 9, and après doesn't start until max earliest 12. So by the time everyone arrives, it's a write off anyway. All sorts going on. Anyway, so then we have to go to the second spot. And that's pretty sketchy. It's like not steep, but it's like that, and it's obviously like quite icy snow. So anyway, so like do that, get there in one piece just, and then it closes. So then it shuts at like 6 because obviously everyone just got to get back. So it's like pitch dark, and then to get down to the main town, it is like that. So anyway, I'm like, how the hell am I getting down there? I'm like, screw this. These jeans are going in the bin. I'm going down on my ass. Some boys like. Ashy and Goody have got like a couple of beer mats and like skiing down the and I just distinctly remember like thinking to myself like I will never forget this moment. I've just been overtaken on a ski slope. Like there's a couple of us that are like we're like this is such a good idea, boys, great idea. And then Goody and Ashy just giving it the big licks and down on these like beer trays. I'm like it was genius. Yeah, and that's like the moments, and then like those boys that I was on the slope with when we're like, this was the worst day. My hands have never been colder, and like that moment, and then we're like, you come in on the meeting on the Thursday, and like you're like, am I playing this week? Because I'm not sure if I should be.
But then you
and
never
then you
lost.
play it, and you never lose that game.
Yeah, that's it. It's the beer fear. Yeah. It is the beer fear. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm going to carry on playing, boys.
And he's back again.
It's a bit of an emotional journey for Ryan. So he did the training session for TNT, I think it was, or Viaplay. So he did it with the boys and everything in the gym. Then he did it pre-game, and it was fucking horrible. And he's like, I'm so glad I don't have to play rugby anymore. And then he'll hear one anecdote, and he'll be like, I need to get a club. I need to get a club.
Like, so much so that I texted the agent yesterday going, mate,
is there a chance?
Let's go again. Let's just have one more fucking. I was like, I said, I don't give a fuck. MLR, 40 grand. I just eat into the savings. I couldn't give a fuck. Just get me out there. Miami, and he was like, Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte.
I'm trying to put a team together within the next 2 weeks. I was like, get me there. I don't even know where it is. Where the fuck is it?
It's in Carolina.
Yeah. Where's that?
Crack. It's good
crack.
crack.
Good weather all year round.
Yeah, mate, it's lovely.
I couldn't give a fuck. Just get me there. And then I text. Who did I text today? I was speaking to. I was texting someone today about it. Oh, Ugo Monye. And I was like, mate, thinking about it. He was like, yeah, it'd be great. You know, get out there, it'd be great with the family. I was saying, fucking family? No. It's only 4 or 5 months I got on my own. Oh, I'm not going to drag the kids out of school and take them on.
Well, the problem is, sorry, Ben, just to recap that he was about to sign at Béziers, and then did actually take the kids out of school, did actually send the dog away, and then went to go and watch them to sign the contract, and then the number 10 blew out his knee in the game.
That's
and so
packed up the house.
Packed up the house.
But like, see, when I hear stuff like that,
Great
you can't emulate that. Like in
Office
fucking
life.
Stag do's every now and again.
Yeah, I know, but
there's something about like going,
Yeah, I know.
like going to the game, like knowing what you've been through that week, and you're like, better get this together.
yeah, and having to dig deep with boys, and then after you finish the game, walk out off the fucking field bleeding. That first beer and be like, what?
There wasn't any of that.
We were on the pitch like 5 days ago.
There was more like, give me an electrolyte. I'm going to pass it.
Pickle juice, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, that's it. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. So, do you know what? You've changed my mind. Fuck dry January. I'm glad
It's
that
not just the fear, though. It's
Yeah,
like
but I'm
you
glad.
forge.
Yeah, but I'm glad that I never took it more seriously now. Because, no, it's about the memories. You're realising that, like now, right? The rest of your career, if someone's like, stop drinking, you might get an extra year, or carry on drinking, you'll get a year less, but you're going to have a fucking good time.
Yeah, fair.
You just carry on drinking, wouldn't you?
He's off to Béziers, man.
It's taking your spot.
Oh, if you keep wearing that fucking helmet. You wanted to talk about the helmet?
Let's get your thoughts, Ben.
Talk to us about the helmet, because there's been a few people picking up on it.
I love what it's about. I think it's amazing. I think head health is meant, and like, you know, brain health is the most important thing in the game. However, this is the key part.
I don't think I could take the picture of you. What about if it was a different colour?
It's why is it like maroon and bright yellow?
It used to be
why can't it just be black?
Because it was. I've got a black one now. I just got it today, brand spanking new. But it was. I have. That one is a Cardiff Met.
Oh, you've just found that out because you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. And then I found, because someone from Headgaze was listening to the thing.
Oh, right. Oh, no. So the bloke from Headgaze actually
was listening. No, he laughed. He found it funny.
Mate, but you
No, I didn't go to Cardiff.
You played
Met,
for
no,
London Irish.
But I'm working with the head case guys, and they sent me that.
And they're from Cardiff Met.
So I've been helping
They're
develop.
not from Cardiff Met.
No, but they've been working with Cardiff Met as well.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
got you.
But even if there was like, say there was black, like a plain black, maybe a plain black with a
You
tiny
would
bit.
still wear. You would still wear maneuver.
You would still go.
No,
that
no.
one looks weird. Put
No,
that on me.
so you can on these things you can print whatever you like. So I was thinking of some interesting
yeah,
designs. What do you reckon? Like I was thinking like a Spider-Man colorway, like because Bristol got the blue and red. So
Iron
we
Man.
go
Actually,
like-
I remember.
Iron
Do you remember when
Man
you dyed
colour.
your lid? Remember you
yeah, I
dyed your
had
lid?
fun dyeing my lid.
And Pat, I remember Pat. He didn't
With
even. He didn't even like say. He just went, "Better fucking play well with that, Max." And Max's face was just like.
Okay. That was Connacht, wasn't it?
And
Connacht
I
away.
don't think you caught a ball for the rest of the year.
No, Connacht away, we won, and I played all right. Actually,
We did actually.
I remember. Yeah, we did. We got it done.
You played.
I wonder if you were playing. I wonder if you were playing for Bath that time. That Gordy. I remember Gordy Reid, one of the players, played for Scotland. He shaved a mohawk in, and everyone took the piss out of him so much. European match, Glasgow versus Bath. Went down there. He got his head shoved right up his fucking arse. The whole first half. He went and shaved it off at half time.
Did it at half time? Oh no!
Honestly, you'll do that. It'll do that though. Like the game will do that to you. The way it works.
It'll humble you quick.
Honestly, half time into the toilet. Do you know the one where you do with the ankle strap in? You shave. You've got a.
That's
a
not
razor
fit.
on
That's
hand.
not fit for purpose.
And it was like little patches everywhere, but he came back out bald because he was like, fuck, I can't go back out like that. But I reckon for a laugh, next game you play, you still wear the maroon one just
You're
to keep
amazing.
everyone happy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gryffindor.
when we play you in May, wear the
Do you want
maroon
the?
one.
You want
Because
the,
you know what I'm like when I go back
Yeah,
to
I
Ashton
know.
Gate.
Yeah,
mate, I'm
he gets.
pretty toxic.
Oh, he gets so aggressive.
You know, we've talked to you, said it, because I asked
Oh,
you, like,
mate.
what was
Yeah, do
Ben?
you
Like, it was
remember?
nice being back.
No,
and
Ben
he was like, you were.
loving it.
Why? Come on.
He was
then.
Why?
revving
Go
it
on.
up.
I just think it's like I loved Bristol. I loved what they were about. But like
yeah, exactly.
the biggest respect you can give to someone like a team like that, or like when you play
Your
against
mates,
mates,
exactly.
is like
Yeah.
to go even harder.
You over.
I mean, we were any scrum penalty we run.
Oh,
I was doing like shearers to their box,
He was.
and I'm a
screaming
flanker.
But
Like,
only
it's
to
bonkers.
only to Bristol, only to Bristol. Or because there was a
No,
moment
that was like the
because you got a
first
bit
game
of
of the
stick
season,
for it. I
yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
in the World Cup. You got a stick for celebrating, and
that
again,
was bollocks,
I remember at the time we were like, fucking madness. You came out and almost someone had to defend you, or you came out and
Yeah.
actually put out a statement.
Well, I like it was getting like not it wasn't getting like acidic, but it was getting a lot of like I was getting messages. My mum was getting messages. It was pretty full on. Like the South African fans, especially the week we were playing South Africa, like and like obviously rubs people up the wrong way and like. But
you've been doing. I mean, we said it was the first thing we talked. You've been doing it all the time.
doing it
wasn't
for
like
my
you
whole
just
life.
start doing it.
But
Then
it's
maybe
it's not even about him doing it. It's a way to give energy. That's the whole part of it, and teams do it.
We our main thing is we've been trying to get Max. So we watch Max. We analyze.
Yeah,
Obviously,
podcasts
we
all the time.
didn't know.
that should be fun. Yeah,
couldn't.
Let's do
Yeah,
that. Let's
great
get into
enough.
Seen him celebrate.
Doesn't
I've been
fucking
celebrating.
celebrate. You did. You
No,
did.
because like if he's like on the floor and he's like made a carry, he's like,
It's so true.
was that good? Looking up to the box.
Because there's that perfect picture of you, when you scored that
Oh,
try.
that was Connacht as well. That was Connacht as well. Great game.
But yeah, you shouldn't have to come out and fucking apologize.
But that's just like, but again, it's like the heightened sphere of the World Cup. Like everything's just on steroids, isn't it? It's just times 10. Like the amount of furore and media and the lashback, and I actually didn't mind it. Like it got people talking about other than the way we were playing, so it kind of works things out, didn't it? And like we kept winning, and then everyone. It was funny, like. People had made a big deal out of it in the warm-up games, and because we were losing, and then we won the Argentina game. There was like 2 articles being like, "It's the best thing for the team," and I was like, "How has it happened? How has it come like full 180?" And like Stuart Barnes has changed his mind. It's just crazy.
Come out just before the Fiji game, and it was a conversation around being sort of world class, I think it was, and you were like, "Well, we're not in the conversation. You have to perform on the day to be in those conversations." And it was quite like a rod for your own back, effectively.
Yeah,
a lot of pressure to put on yourself in that conversation. But fucking hell,
I
you worked out, right?
I don't know. Like Ryan would have been there. Like when you play international matches, you get like a load of people like with a mic in your face, and I was like, I've got to say something here. Like I think it was something like you know, if you'd put a World 15 together, how many of their team would be in it? And I was like, oh, you know, quite a few. And they were like, how many of your team? And then I was like, do you know what? I'm going to give you something here. And I said it. And then I looked around and I was like, I should not have said that. Like, if I play badly, I'm going to look like a right tool. Anyway, yeah, it kind of worked out all right. But I was like, it did. I was thinking about it before the game. I was like, God, I've got to play well here, because I've just said if I don't play well, then the coaches have made the biggest mistake by picking me. So yeah. But like say, that worked out. That was another great game. I mean, Fiji, what a great team, by the way, amazing. Well, obviously we've all played with Fijians. They're put on this earth to play the game, and I mean, and what's more annoying is they're great guys. They're great guys, and you can't dislike them. They're really nice guys, and they offer something different. But yeah, pleased that we came out the right side.
Oh, that was some game.
What a game!
What
I was going to say. I mean, obviously you were there, right? Because I'd like to. Let's talk about you did two amazing sort of runs in the match. And I think
sounds like your dad, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I have to just keep it.
Mention your name loads. That's what my dad just said to me. Oh, you must play well. Commentator and mention your name loads. You did.
I put out all the articles.
Runs.
Every time the boys are in the articles, it's like you were told this. You were told this.
Sorry.
No, but genuinely, obviously, two game-changing runs that effectively swung it back towards England at a point, and you were in the stadium and you supporting Fiji all out. But what was going through your mind, particularly one you ran fucking half the pitch and it was like no one could touch you at that moment?
Well, that's why I think rugby is like a sport almost like no other. I mean, the context of that is like one of them have come in. They've been offloading for the whole of the second half, scoring anything they touched, and we were like 25-5 up or something, and they came to like they were drawing. And he went in, tried to offload it, and the guy dropped it. And if he'd have caught it, he'd have scored. That'd probably been the game. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, thank God he's not caught that. All of a sudden, the ball's in my hand. I'm like, when like the blinkers just come down, you're like, just going to run here. Anyway, I saw their tight head replacement. And I was like, well, I'll try and get round him. Went round him. And then I was like, where's all this open space come from? And I was just sprinting. Anyway, then I've rounded the fullback. I remember thinking, I've scored. I've never scored for England. I don't know if you can pull the clip. I've scored. I was like, I can't believe I've never scored. I think my face maybe even like. Anyway, this winger is coming behind and like kidney shot me. I was like, oh, just dying on the way down. How I've held on to the ball, I've got no idea. Anyway, I was like so toast after that. I think we played like 2 phases. We had an advantage, and I just rolled over. I was like, what has just happened there? And then that was kind of like I said, it was kind of the game, but like it was just funny how rugby is such now, especially now, it's such small margins. Like I think that's why it's such a good viewer sport, and actually people don't realize like how small moments can just change everything in a game. But momentum, as much as anything, like that changed momentum in the whole game. That one moment, because they were all over us and we were flagging quite aggressively. I remember they kept scoring, and Faz was like, right, next thing we're going to kick really long and defend really well. And then they'd kick and they'd have this moment of magic and we'd be like chasing back like, any chance. But yeah, that I think again that's something like a team like Fiji. That's what they do, and that's why they're so good.
There is a difference between international rugby and club rugby, isn't it?
I only just realised during
mental.
the World Cup, really, like how little. I think I was a bit naive. Well, I was definitely for my first. I think I got capped 13 times by Eddie, and I was kind of didn't really realise the grittiness of playing like Test rugby, but it's just so different, and that's why like both sports offer something a little bit different. Whereas like not many teams play like Bristol in international rugby. Whereas that's why you watch Premiership rugby, and then not many games are as close and as physical as they are in Test rugby, because they're just not. It's just incredible.
Thinking back, this is probably my downfall, but that was the times I drunk the most though during my career as test weeks.
Oh, after Test weeks.
Right.
That's when I drank the most.
Especially if there was a debut with England. It's crazy. You have a debut. I actually had it in Edinburgh at Murrayfield, and you have to have a drink with every person in the team, and a full one. So, but the thing is, like, if I give it to you and you've made your debut, I have to drink it as well. So, like, people aren't like screwing over, but there's just a lot. That's 22 drinks. And for example, like Manu Tuolangi, who like spent a lot of time with during the World Cup, an amazing guy, and like he has these pints of wine. I mean, like he has like massive wine glasses, but like he won't like you know, just fill your glass up half full, like, but he's doing it as well. He's like filling it to the brim, and it's just sitting here. No glasses look better than a full glass of red wine. Like, you're like, how is that going anywhere? But
or it's got quadruple whiskey, because like, Sean Lamont would only have to have one, but that would be one of your 22 drinks. So you'd have to drink 4 shots with him, but then someone would be kind and be like, oh, here's just a pint to a pint. But
like Waters by the end, like Max Malin's, then probably my closest mate in rugby at the moment, like doesn't like beer.
So everyone's getting...
Well, no, and so like at first I think some boys like gave it to him, and they were like, he was just like having it, it was like coming out. Anyway, by the end, boys were like asking around the hotel were they only fruit ciders because that's all he can drink, which is like beer.
It's true. That's all he drinks.
But stuff like that is just so funny. Like, and again, you talk about memories and whatever. That's one that I remember probably till the day I die. The hell I was in over like drink 11, and I was like, am I halfway? Some boys are kind though, like they just like kind of like they're just like slap you on the back and go, don't worry about it, mate. But like some boys, like George Cruz, I remember distinctly because he's a good mate of mine, a purist. He obviously got hammered when he first made his debut, so he was like, "You're getting it." So I think he came over with like, you talk about quadruple whiskies, he's coming over with like a triple tequila and like just a small dash of soda water, and you're like, honestly, mate, I could just take the paint off this wall if I threw it over there.
He's lost so much weight. I saw a clip of him. He came and did some stuff with England. And I was like, fucking, where's the rest of him gone?
I know, yeah.
It's just dropped off him.
Well, it's funny, like, it probably will not happen to you, but it will definitely happen to me. Like, I'm not naturally as heavy as when you are playing and gymming. Like, I'm just like, how skinny can one get? And he gets proper skinny.
Yeah, but you love the gym though.
I do love the gym, but I wouldn't do half the stuff in the gym that I do now.
Yeah, but you'd continue your beach weight sessions.
Oh, unbelievable. Well, so would you. You'd continue roping.
Yeah, no, I'd do the roping.
Thank you.
The weird shit he does.
Yeah, it's all about just getting balanced, mate. Like, I don't know if you know.
Into the flow.
Like when I was watching that, on your
Getting
fucking
balanced. Stand on a blue mat for an hour if you want. Get balanced with that. What flick some rope on the concrete?
This guy, the most cynical young man I've ever played with.
That's good though.
I think rugby is very
simple.
simple. Rugby is very simple.
I can tell you've mellowed now.
I have mellowed.
Yeah, you have.
I have definitely mellowed.
Mate, it was
But
very
you were gonna
interesting.
Rugby is very simple in terms of like the basic needs of physically.
Oh yeah.
And you push the envelope way too far. There is no way for me, right, Max?
He's probably right. No,
and Max, I really appreciate like the intricacies of it, but like, there's no way your roping holds you down at tight head and goes out to the right. There's no way.
100%. I completely agree with that.
But you enjoy roping, don't you?
But I enjoy it. Yeah, it's a movement practice.
Well, I enjoy snooker. Should I just put that all over my Instagram as well? Like me,
I just think it's quite
just having a quick frame. Do you know what I mean?
bonkers.
Oh, you do
No, but it's
like
more,
snooker,
it's
don't you?
more,
Because I
it's
saw you in the
more.
snooker the other day. That's
That's genius. Yeah. So like me and
it's
so we watched the Ronnie documentary. You seen it?
No.
If you do not like snooker after the Ronnie documentary, it's genius. Anyway, so me and Alex Zofsky watched it. We both had our knee injury, so we like, oh wait, if we do rehab and then we go and play snooker.
Oh, I love that. Down like a workman's club.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my god.
We're
amazing.
padding in, like, all right, guys, like, bought my own key. Anyway, so we've gone to the snooker and we're sitting in these seats. You buy these, you know, those weird people at the cricket who wear like the head. But at snooker, you wear one so you can be like, oh, he could play this, but he's actually playing this because of this. Anyway, at one point, they'd be like, and there's Ben Earl, England rugby player. And I'm like looking around, and everyone's just staring at you. And I'm like, and like, someone's got a screenshot. I might even get it up. And like, we are so engrossed.
Oh my god, look at you guys. You are both in there.
Oh, that is amazing. That is so good.
Just so engrossed. Yeah, so, but yeah, roping and snooker are very similar, but like,
They're not really.
like I said, I'm not going to sling.
say
I'm not going
one
to sling my next frame up. Hi guys, it's day in life, Ben. This is a quick frame for you guys.
Hey, you should. You should.
Oh,
You should.
I should, but my snooker could be there for an hour.
It's fucking hard, eh? I can't believe
People
how
don't
hard
appreciate
snooker
how big those
That's the one
tables
with the
are.
table that's like
12
giant.
foot.
Yes.
12 by 6.
Yeah, that is
Oh.
ridiculous. ridiculous.
Have you ever played over in Ireland where you stay at that hotel with the snooker
No.
table? And it's a famous snooker player from Ireland. And I can't remember who we used to play. I think it was when we played Leinster. Every time we went over to play Leinster, and we'd have access to it. Fucking hell, it would get so tasty. Like, boys would be
Get
down
so
there, but
tasty.
you'd be like, and then do doubles and stuff, and everyone's fucking arguing. It was impossible though, but
We had that in the World Cup. We had a small pool table, and like it would just get so competitive. Elliot Daly and Danny Kerr honestly nearly like beheaded each other with Hugh at one point. They were like, "You were like, can't do that. You can't do that, mate. That's like." And like some of the side chat, and it's just childish. But
Who's the best?
Manu. So Manu had a table at his old home when he played for Leicester. He had a full size snooker table. Courtney Law's very good. Elliot's very good. Elliot is the most talented sportsman I've ever seen. It was incredible. In terms of like,
sportsman, aren't you?
yeah, but he's a different level. His darts is very good as well, so he's very good at stuff like that. And
You're
Danny
as well, aren't you?
yeah, Danny Kerr is a pub specialist. He goes down and like enters like enters like dart stuff, and I've seen his name on like a list. So he's a legend though.
hey,
like,
boys, after Luke Littler, I think that's going to blow up because he's the first ever darts player to get 1 million followers. He's not even done it. He's got like 3
Did
or
you
4.
see how they increased over like a 5-day period?
Fucking mental, but
So
you
we need
see
to
all
do
these
some
people-
darts.
All these people now going out and buying darts balls because they're like,
Flight Club. You can't get in the Flight Club now.
there was a couple of funny memes. It was like, spend all this money on my kids going to this, and he's just been going to the pub with his dad, pork scratchings and a pint of coke.
Yeah, what are you going to do today? I'm going to game in the morning, get on the board in the afternoon. I was like, it's not
Heaven.
too bad, does it?
So
What are you going to do in the morning to buy a few more babes?
No, I don't think it's. I think it's the fact he's 16, but he looks
Is it his
35.
age?
He
Yeah.
does look so old.
Yeah, he looks older. Than
Well, he
me.
would be like, I think it was like it would be like the first time a 16-year-old has like won a world title in any sport. Could be wrong, but I think that's what I read. But that was pretty impressive.
We just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors that are Wolf Craig Distillers. You can check out their whiskey. You'll love it, Ben. 35-year-old, 30-year-old, 14-year-old, and a lovely gin. And Max, how do people find it?
Wolfcraig.com.
That's it. Thank you very much again to Wolf Craig Distillers. Well, hello. You've been left with just me, Ryan Wilson. That's right. We should probably just get rid of Mark because he's fucking useless. But anyway, I'm here to tell you that this week's episode of the podcast that was filmed in the Pure Sport office was so bloody good that we chatted for almost 2 hours and we've had to split it into 2. That's right. So you will get the next episode, part 2, next week. That's right. We'll drop it on Wednesday. Listen, keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears peeled because it's coming out and it's almost and probably even better than this week's was. So like, subscribe, jump onto our YouTube channel, which is MAUL or Nothing Show, and do not forget to do that little thing where you get notifications. Thank you.
More or nothing.